Where are you going? We're trying to make a video. Are you crazy? Come here. You're going to help. All right, welcome back. I want you to get yourself 2 pens, different colors. Not black and blue, but red and blue or red and black. I don't have a red pen. Just hear me out. You want to write the setup with the blue. Write the punchlines in red. So what you're going to be doing is when you're writing out your jokes, you're going to write the setups in blue or black and write the punchlines in red. Here's what it will do for you. You'll be able to visualize, you'll have it right there in front of you, how much of your joke is setup and how much of it is punchline or laughter. This is an old Judy Carter book exercise from what I remember. Sometimes I get these things wrong. I don't know. But I used to do it all the time. And I noticed that my setups were so incredibly long. They were too long. I was giving information that was leading them down several different paths, a lot of unnecessary information. And I'll give you an example of that in a second. When you're writing a joke, you have to edit so that you're taking stuff out of the setup. And the punchline sometimes. Sometimes the punchline can be too long. And you can write past the joke. You can write past the punchline, which hurts it. Whatever the funniest word is, you don't want to write past that. So you always want to have that at the end. But when you have your setup, the more of that blue ink you can take out, the better off you're going to be. The ideal for a setup is to give just enough information so that they understand the punchline. You don't want to give them too much, but sometimes people give too little and it doesn't make sense. So here's an example from my act. I take a sip of coffee every time before I perform. No. How much do you have to hate... Hold on. How's the joke go? How much do you have to hate spending time with your wife to be a volunteer fireman? Now, that's just the first part of a larger bit, but it gets right to the point. How much do you have to hate spending time with your wife to be a volunteer fireman? See how the punchline is very short, concise, volunteer and fireman. That's what I think is the funny part because people get paid to be firemen. So the way it originally started as a joke was I witnessed this guy who I knew he didn't like his wife. And he had a full-time job, and all of a sudden he was getting certified to be a volunteer fireman. And I just started laughing. I hit it. And I don't know the guy anymore, but it was just a funny idea to me. So when I was writing it, I'm like, yeah, I met this couple, and blah, 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 blah. None of that has anything to do with my joke. That's how I happened to come up with the joke. I didn't have to give what county he was going to be a volunteer fireman for, what the dynamic of the marriage was, what my thoughts, none of that. It doesn't matter. The joke is that there's volunteer firefighters when those are paying jobs. Here's the one caveat to that. I actually added to the setup by doing a preface, because I don't want to come off as unlikable and I don't want to be disrespectful to volunteer firefighters. So what I say is, all right, what I'm about to say, I want you to keep in mind, I have so much respect for these people. They're really heroes. However, how much do you have to hate spending time with your wife to be a volunteer fireman? Do you see, even though I'm making it longer, it's making it more conversational, and it's making me retain likability on stage because I'm not just dumping on a group of people that are actually doing an awesome job for their community. And then in the joke, I go through all this other stuff that's payment, like them making goulash for each other once a week. But that's neither here nor there. When you're writing, if you don't want to use a red pen and a blue pen or a red pen and a black pen, you could do it on your computer or on your phone. Use bold for the setup. Type that all out in bold letterings or all caps because that'll really annoy you. And then the punchline regular or reverse it, whatever you want to do. Just so you can see it visually exactly how much of it is setup and how much of it is punchline. And you can take a very step back view of the page and see, oh, wow, I have such long setups for my jokes. You want to try to stay away from that because the longer the setup, the bigger the payoff has to be. You're having the audience invest their time in the setup. It's like a story that doesn't pay off. The longer it goes without a laugh, the bigger the laugh at the end has to be. So really try to trim up those setups where you give just enough information for them to understand what you're saying and then start hitting them with punchlines and tags. That's it for right now. I hope you stumble upon this channel again. And I don't know why the lighting keeps changing, but that's the world we live in. This is my alma mater, by the way. SUNY Potsdam. Seems like they're going out of business now, too. Boy, the times I had there. I'll tell you about them sometime. First time I ever did stand-up, kind of really. But whatever. Okay, bye.